Welcome to our never adventures, where we roam and explore. A family of treasure hunters seeking more and more. With magnets we fish for trash and treasures deep below. Metal detecting in the fields where secrets grow. Cleaning up our world, one place at a time. Making a difference, one step at a time. Together we're stronger, a family of might. Protecting our planet with all of our might. We're cleaning up our world, one place at a time. Making a difference, one step at a time.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for joining. We truly appreciate that. Reichea said to tell everybody she might make an appearance here shortly. You know how she is. Get back to the top so I can go through and say hello to everybody. Hello, Mary. Hi, Scott. Hello, Brian. Larry and Jill. Hello. Hello, Mark. Hello, Brian. Yodi. Hello, Relic Rat. Tri Valley Brian, how are you, brother? Hi, Cheryl. Brian said to tell you to stop playing with your crayons.
Brian, you need to get knocked out, bro.
Hi, Yodi. Hi, PA. I think I made it to the bottom. Once again, I want to thank you guys for all joining in here tonight. Something I wanted to talk about. Those of you that watched my premiere a while ago, I do appreciate that. That was probably, for bucket listers, my best day ever. We've been detecting, I don't know, probably close to 3 years now, and a seeded coin of any kind was been high on my bucket list. Hi, Annie. And evidently, when I popped that out of the plug, the signal wasn't the greatest. It was stuck right between two roots, and I had to put my little hand digger there. When I flipped it out, I seen it was silver. And Reichea come over, and she already knew, evidently, because all I could see was the edge of the coin from my angle. I couldn't tell no more about it. And I thought, when I seen the back, possibly a barber. And when I rolled it over and wiped off and seen it was a seeded, I was just at a loss for words.
You were in punk mode.
Thank you, brother. I was in punk mode. I dropped and forgotten. Hi, Annie B. Then when we were on the way home, we were talking about it, and I didn't even think to look to see if it had where it was made, none of that. And we were talking about it, and I said, you know, it'd be awesome if it was a Carson City. And she said, I think there was 2 letters on the back. And she said, I'm not positive. Hi, T. Hi, Dorothy. And I said, well, I hope you're right. And we got home and looked, and it had CC on the back, Carson City. And to find that lead soldier and his dog, those were 2 things high on my bucket list. And hi, show me, Chris. Watched it in 2 times speed. What a hunt finds. Congratulations, Punk. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I mean, hi, Rusty Nugget. I've never found 2 V-nickels in the same day. And then the seeded and the gold ring and the little a soldier, like I say, that was for me just as far as a bucket lister day. I mean, I'd found gold rings before, and then that little piece of sterling silver that was off that vinegar cruet or whatever it was called, and Reichea to find the hem weight. You've only found one Carson City in 20 years of detecting. That's awesome. But I think I'd mentioned in a live towards the beginning of the year some of my bucket listers, and the seated was on it, the lead toy was on it, and when we went to the Show Me Treasure hunt, I found another lead toy. It's a little soldier with a bazooka in underneath a thorn tree. I had run my detector under there, and I had to crawl in under there in the thorns and dig it out. I wasn't sure what it was whenever the detector went off, but I thought, well, I'm going to check it out. But that's something I want to talk about was permissions and people talking about you're not going to find anything. So the last two videos where we have dug, Reichea and I, we got permission. The man said, you're not going to find anything because people metal detect here all the time. You know, he said it's been detected several times. So to pull out a seated dime, 2 V nickels that day, a gold ring, she found that bracelet, she found the hem weight, and the 1860 to 1888 button. And I can't remember what all else we found that second trip, but the first trip, we pulled out Wheaties, we pulled out buffalo nickels, little compacts. I mean, just all kinds of really, really cool stuff. We went back the third time and didn't find much because we hit it pretty hard. So when somebody says, yeah, you can, hi, Mary, you can detect my yard, but it's been detected before. Across the street from this permission that we had, actually there was 2 houses side by side we had permission for. Across the street, the mailman had stopped one day talking to us, and he said, I said, yeah, I'd like to do that house across the street. And he said, that gentleman that owns that house owns both houses across the street. So we just by chance drove through there the other day. I've not got my courage up really to do any door knocking yet, but if I see people outside, it doesn't bother me to go up and talk to them about permission. So we seen a couple guys outside, pulled in there. I got out and asked them about detecting there, and they're like, well, the guy that owns the place isn't home. He gave us the phone number. Hi, Tom Kingery. He said, in fact, this one house here, we're getting ready to tear down. And cool old house, but I guess it needs a lot of work. And as I'm typing his phone number on my phone, the gentleman shows up and he's talking to those guys that's going to do the demolition on the house. The one guy said, yeah, there wasn't no about metal detecting. He said, well, you can detect here. He said, you ain't going to find nothing. It's full of trash. And there's been 4 other people detect this yard since I've owned it. I said, okay. Well, we're going to try. Hi, Josh. Then we asked him about the yard where his house where he lives in, and he said, no, just this yard here. So Reichea and I like, well, we'll give it a whirl. And Reichea was a #1 punk on this new permission. I can't tell you what she found, but she found something. She doesn't really have a bucket list, but something she's really been wanting to find. And we were really shocked when she found it. When I dug my first target was a memorial penny. My second target I got called a punk, and it wasn't maybe 5 minutes later, I called her a punk, and then we were getting about done. We probably detected that yard for 4+ hours. and we were heading back to the truck, and she got a signal, and yeah, she was shaking when she found it. She was so excited, so happy for her. That video will be out probably in 3 or 4 weeks, but she found something we didn't expect to find there, and something that's been on her. She doesn't really have a bucket list, but she said if I had a bucket list, this would have been my #1 thing on it. So I'm so happy for her. I did get to call her a punk this time and go that route instead of. Yeah, I told her to get in the truck. We dug quite a bit of clad there, but we also found some relics and some really cool stuff. We went back there yesterday to see if they'd torn the house down yet, and they hadn't. So we thought we hit the yard pretty hard. Maybe he'll let us hit it again. Hi, New Horizons.
I was honest, and that kind of screwed us.
Yeah. She was honest. He said, "Did you find anything?" And she told him what she found, and a couple of the things she found, he said, well, I've never even heard of those. So he said, well, I'm kind of busy painting in here and stuff, so not today. So I don't know if he got upset because she interrupted his painting, or if he got upset because
I think it was because we found stuff. Because
yeah,
before that, he didn't seem as bothered.
Yeah, but when she told him what we found, then it seemed like, because she went up and knocked on the door. Then we stopped at 2 more houses, and she went and knocked on the door. Nobody answered. But we're not giving up on that area. What she found, I found the seated, and across the street, what she found from this house is, I mean, to some people it may not be much, but to us it's something you just don't really find around here. I was pretty stoked with it. I don't know who was more excited, because I wasn't exactly sure what she had at first. But yeah, she was tickled. But it just goes to show you, and people say, oh, it's been detected 4 or 5 times, or people hear it all the time. It doesn't matter. There's still going to be things there. I know we went back over places we've been before, and we keep finding stuff. Now, where I found the seated, like I said, we went back over that the 3rd time, and we went back over it pretty good, and we really didn't find much, but we were gridding. It's not a great big yard, so we started gridding to make sure we covered every square inch of it. You're welcome, New Horizons. What I do, if you're in here 2 weeks in a row, I will turn you blue, so that way you can check out everybody else's channel and they can check yours out. All we ask is when we make you a moderator that you respect that. He got jealous probably because he had his little buddies probably hammered it and you two showed him up. That's a good possibility, Brian. I mean, I don't know. He wouldn't let us in his yard where the house is he lives in, but the yard beside it. And he's like, oh, it's full of trash. And I bought it for taxes because it was all trashed up. And the city asked me if I wanted to pay the taxes for the property. And that's what he did. And there was some trash in it, but when we still dig trash, I mean, everybody digs trash. But you learn somewhat. I will dig some questionable signals. I'm 99% sure this is trash, but there's that 1% I'll still dig it. But a lot of it we can go over and know that it is trash. I'm a supporter and creator myself. That's awesome. Well, you're welcome in here anytime. We're here every Wednesday at 6 Central. Like I said, you come back next week and we will turn you blue so people can check your channel out. Show me Daddy Chris. What? Are you calling me a punk again? Oh, I thought you were calling me a punk.
No, not this time.
That's right, Larry. You never know. We've went over our yard multiple times, and want to give a shout out to Alicia, Hot Mess Fishing, and Nocta. When we were at the Show Me event, Beard Light had the mini horde, and he's getting bigger, so they donated a mini horde for him, and he loves it. Midi?
Yeah, M-I-D-I.
M-I-D-I horde they donated. And he loves it. It's a great little machine, I tell you.
First waterproof kids metal detector.
Yeah. That is what they donated to Beard Light. And out here in the yard one day, I was at work with his other machine. I mean, this one basically is the same. It's got a green light and a red light. And they're going out through there, and he got a green light, and Reichea dug it, and he found a wheat penny. In fact, I think
slammed the door.
Yeah, and we'd slammed it. But him with his little machine. I had somebody wanting me to advertise a hunt, but I'm not a member of the group, and I'm not going to go through that. I would appreciate it if you guys would smash that thumbs up. Hey, Jody, how you doing, buddy? Mr. Mosby, Arky Treasure Hogs. Well, I missed it. Who is going to Detecting the Heartland in May in Iowa with me? I'd love to, Scott.
Yeah.
Won't be able to, but we'd love to. Hi, Rick. Trying to keep over the chat. I dug a great seal coat button and IHP and a few wheats the last 2 days. That's awesome, Brian. Well, we went, like I said, we went back yesterday when I got off work because she's wound for sound after what she found. That kind of rhymed. I'm a poet and didn't know it. But we went back over there. A gentleman said not today. Knocked on 2 different doors. We did. Okay, this is kind of, try to make a long story short. My dad knew a guy that lived in this town. He was redoing a house, and his girlfriend at the time got us permission for a house across the street. So we get there and we go to this house and we're digging, and she comes running out. No, not that house. Because it's a big old giant 2-story house. She said the one on the other corner of the street, Caddy Corner. So we went over there and detected. Well, we come by that house yesterday, and there was a gentleman and his wife and 2 or 3 kids outside. And they'd put a fence around it, and they'd fix the house up. And I asked him about detecting, and he's like, well, he said, I've got a 12-year-old that's wanting to detect the yard. And he said, you come back, later on. And he said, after the little ones had a chance to go through, and he said, you're more than welcome to detect it. So
I thought that was really cool that the kid was going to detect it.
Yeah, it's cool that the kid was going to detect it. Of course, not knowing the guy, we would have been happy to try to help the little fella, but Annie said she's so excited now, excuse me, to see what you found.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was freaking out.
Yeah, she was definitely in Queen Punk mode. Like I say, my second target got me called a punk, and after that, she was on fire. And she's been so down lately about, I ain't never going to find this or I ain't never going to find that. I said, you will. You just got to swing over the right spot at the right time. I mean, detecting is a lot of knowing your machine, but it's also, if it's not there, you're not going to find it. And you can put 20 people in a field and that one person will walk over that one target. You know, it's just luck. A lot of it's luck. Going over the, huh?
I'm not very lucky.
Well, you're pretty darn lucky the other day. So we ended up going back to a permission I've had for about 3 years now. It'll be probably about 3 weeks, Chris, probably. And we've been using up videos because, like I've said before, we're trying to get away from videos of clad. We're wanting to try to make our videos more of relics and older coins, you know, at least a Wheatie, buffaloes, thing. Sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to say buffalo. V-nickels. I'm not picking on Chris. So we're trying to do more like that so it's not all just clad all the time. I know we did a lot of those, and we're going to spend more time trying to get cooler finds.
Which comes with more permissions.
More permissions, yeah. We're going to work on more permissions. I think I got an idea. You know those people stand on the corner with a sign for money?
Yes.
You can paint in a sad clown face on me, and I can stand there with a sign saying, "Can I detect your yard?"
Yeah.
Hi, Dirt Devil.
Yeah, I'm not asking for money. Can I just metal detect your yard?
Hello, Mr. Chris Maybe. How are you, brother?
Perfect.
T said so true. Luck plays a lot because you folks miss a lot of space in their swing. They do. I do, but I try not to. I go slower than a lot of people because I try to cover every inch of the ground when I'm swinging. I know. Hi, Auntie Mama. How are you, beautiful? I know some people will swing and take a step and miss 6-8 inches. And I try not to. I won't cover as much ground, I guess, but I try to cover all the ground I go over. But if you're in an unfamiliar place, I think maybe go a little faster, trying to find the iron in the ground to find where maybe there was a house or a barn or a shed or something, get you closer to the location you need to be. I think I said hi to Dorothy. I hope I did. If I miss anybody, I do apologize. I think it was our first video of the year. We were talking about what an amazing year 2024 was metal detecting for us. And we're getting, like Reichea said, we're getting better with our detectors and learning more. And
yes,
we're starting to, we were bad about just high tones, you know, just like looking for coins, you know, whether it's clad, non-clad, looking for high tones and passing a lot of stuff. And we're going back, we're taking our time. If we get a good repeatable signal, which you should dig every repeatable signal. I don't know how many thousands of pull tabs and pieces of aluminum from cans and things that we've dug. But in doing so, I found 5 gold rings doing that. Excuse Beard, he can't talk and read at the same time. I can't, Mary. I can't even walk and talk at the same time unless Brian's rubbing my beard. Then I can.
oh my God.
Yeah, Brian loves field hunting. Yeah, I need to have a chat with you at some point too, Mr. Brian Tri-Valley. try to get our ducks in a row.
I need to talk to Brian about how to hunt too.
Yeah. Reichea is wanting to have a hunt here at our place at some point in time. Which I know there's a lot of work goes into that, and I wouldn't want it to be a big hunt because it's really not going to be much of a natural hunt. There are some natural finds here, but we've hit the yard pretty hard. The fields, yeah, we've been out in the hay fields and we find stuff here and there. There's supposed to be a gold ring in the one hay field, and we've been back there a few times, but it's I think that field is 23 acres. So the lady was raking hay, and she took her wedding ring off and put it on the fender of the tractor and was putting suntan lotion on. And then she took off, and when she remembered the ring, it was gone. So the ring either fell down and is in the ground here, or it got raked up in a bale of hay and a cow ate it. And it's somewhere either on this place or my dad's place. So we don't know if it got caught up. Mama said hello.
Hi.
She said, hi, Mama. So yeah, we don't know for sure that it's in the field. We have a general idea where she was, according to my dad, where they did go borrow a metal detector from somebody. And this is when I was probably 16. So this has been years ago, and it was like I don't remember now, a $2,500 ring back when I was 16. I'm 62,
Yeah,
almost 63 now. So there's no telling what that ring would retail for now. But up behind the house, we've got a couple fields up here that we could possibly use for a hunt. Yeah, that would suck, Josh. It was, Dorothy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, like I said, I was about 16, and I remember her stopping over there on the tractor one day in her bathing suit top. Not that I was looking or nothing, but where I remember seeing her stopped and where they say she was stopped is probably 150 yards apart. So I don't really know. Who are you? You're the punk, aren't you?
No. He's like, there's Miss Reichea. She gone. Hey, maybe baby. Hi, Mary.
Wait, Beard, you
Hi,
can remember
everybody.
that far? Yeah. It depends on what it is, Mary.
Yeah, he's selective memory. Yeah.
There's been a lot of different people cutting bale hay on this place over the years, though, but you're going to have to make up my mind what you're doing.
I've been pulling these out. I still have some in. They're a pain in the butt.
Your story better tell how you want.
Hi, Mark. Yeah.
But we have been back there a few times, and she found, what was it, a pipe wrench, and we found old.
I found a harmonica reed back there.
Yeah, and you also found a breastplate off of Civil War soldiers' horses, tack, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And we found some neat stuff back there, but you go a long time without a signal.
Me too, Mary.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Mary. I can't remember what I did yesterday. There's times we'll be sitting here and we're like, did we eat supper? Yeah, what did we have? I don't know.
That's awful. Isn't that terrible?
But she can tell you where she's bought every antique toy she's ever bought. And where she's found ever cool fine metal detecting
For the most part.
for the most part.
Hey, Jody. Oh, I got to do it, don't I? Let's see. Make the fist. No, wait, make the fist. And then this. Here we go. I think I got it.
So has anybody been finding anything cool lately? The town we're going to, there's 2 houses we really, really want to detect.
Yeah.
One of them is at least half a block. And the other one is not a super big yard, but both of the houses are deteriorating. There's nobody lives in them.
Yeah,
We
just
went
gotta
to
find out who owns them.
to City Hall and talked to them a little bit, but the one lady we talked to wasn't super helpful.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, can't remember the stuff I'm gonna forget tomorrow. That's right.
Yeah, that is very true. Found some uranium glass while detecting the other day.
Wow.
Probably the best find I had all day. That's awesome.
Cool.
Brass arrowhead Pawnee. Oh, wow.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
cool.
That's something I would love to find too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right, T.
Yeah, that's something on my bucket list.
Yeah, that'd be an awesome find.
The heck was that?
I don't know. Was it a cat?
I'm not sure. I just heard it once.
Let's see if I can see anything.
All right, love. Would you bring me a drink, please? I think I got part of one left.
I will.
Reichea, holler at me so we can gang up on. I mean, all go hunting together.
Yes. We need to go.
Yeah, we need to, Chris. The turkeys are back out there.
Yeah.
I guess in Papa Rouse's, may have been a goose. Papa Rouse's live the other night, I got McClurried because I was going to take Beard Light hunting the next morning, and I had to get to bed. Hi, Jason. Thanks for coming in, buddy. But yeah, Chris, I couldn't believe I pulled 2 V-nickels out the same day. It's like last year, every time I turned around, I was finding buffalo nickels. So it was a buffalo nickel year, and this year I found at least
I don't know what that is.
3. It could be a dove. So, we were talking about our memories just a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got close to Buffalo Day, dug a 1940 Jefferson. That's close. You're going to get one, buddy.
I'm sending you something, Chris.
I'll be right back.
Show me, Chris. Oh, I forgot your drink. Ah, sorry, babe.
Yeah, see, there goes that memory thing we're talking
Yeah,
about.
see? Oh, geez. That's cool, Chris. He's got a few bees, he said.
You got a what?
A few bees, but no buffalo yet. You'll get one. Then when you get one, you'll start finding them a lot. I've got more buffaloes than I do V-nickels, but I think I have probably 3 or 4, not very many V-nickels. It's a root beer. Yeah. We always have root beer or water most of the time.
For me, the hardest one to find was the shield.
A shield, yeah.
I finally found a shield.
Mm-hmm. I've only found one, and you found one.
I found one.
Yeah.
That was last year.
I think.
But I know when we were in Wisconsin, I found, I think, 3 or 4 nickels in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when we first started, I finally found one buffalo nickel, and I went forever. And then
Homemade root beer is awesome.
Like last year was
so sweet tea, Mary.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, it's A&W.
I found Zero Shield also. I found one last year at one permission we got.
Stars with Rays shield.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And seemed like everywhere I went, I was finding buffalo nickels. And Porter showed me Chris. We met up with him last year, and we're going through this park.
Rude.
How is it rude?
Because you're rude.
And we were going through these trees, and I thought he had already went through there. And I was swinging along, and I pulled up a buffalo nickel right by him. He called me a punk. And then this year, we got where the old house burnt in like 1889 or whatever here. I finally found a coin dated to the house, and it was a V. Then I found those 2 in this last video, and it seems like I found another one this year.
Oh, wow. $36 past midnight.
Yeah,
Late.
Yins are 6 hours ahead of us. You tried to pull a Charlie.
I do that too.
Now that you mentioned that, Chris, and this last video, I'm going up through there, and she's finding stuff, and I start finding stuff. And I'm going along and look up, and she's in front of me. I said, "You Charlie Bogarting me?" "Yeah."
Hey, at least I'm honest.
And she pulled out a memorial penny.
Yeah.
And she had went around this one little bush, and she said, "You can go around that tree." Boom, pull out a V-nickel. Then it was my fault. So there's a giant tree over there. And I said, "I'll let you have that tree." And she circles that tree 2 or 3 times.
I didn't go out as far as you found that.
I didn't say you did. But then she got over closer to the buildings working over there. And I went through there, and that's where was it my Wheatie? No, I found the V-nickel. Then about 2 foot away, I found the seeded dime.
Show me I sent you a picture on Messenger if you get it.
Yeah, she was shaking when she found that. Was wound for sound. Double check, make sure everybody's modded. Did I miss somebody? Probably saying hi to Roger.
Yeah, he said he was 10 feet from you when you found your buffalo. Yeah. Because he's rude, Chris.
How am I rude?
He said, "Holy crap, that's wild and amazing. What a punk."
That's awesome, Josh. You both find some crazy stuff when you both go out. Yeah, we've been pretty lucky, Chris. This year for me has been unbelievable, though.
Hey, Magnet Mission.
Hey, brother, how are you doing?
Thanks, Chris.
Oh, Roger is Dirt Devil. Okay. I'm terrible with names until I heard it 275,000 times. I can't remember. Richard, I hope you're doing good, brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been lucky this year, and we're hoping everybody else is having a great year.
Ooh, look at this.
That's cool.
Nice.
Doing pretty good, buddy. Hi, Tim. Other than having to deal with this punk right here.
Hi, Tim.
I was saying earlier, we got a new permission that had been hunted, according to this guy, at least 4 times. My second target, I got called a punk, and then after that, she broke a streak of not finding a certain item, and then before we got done, she found something really cool. That's awesome news. Awesome news.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, God is great.
Yep. Good deal. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Awesome. That's great.
That's awesome, Dave. So we got to figure out the proper approach to go get permissions from people.
Yeah.
The mailman told us one house that would be really good if we could get permission because it used to be a like a bed and breakfast in the 18. What is?
I thought he said it was a brothel.
A brothel.
Yeah.
In the 1800s.
Yeah. Is that the one with the grouchy lady?
Yes, but he said the lady is very grouchy. Hi, Angie.
Hi, Angie and Rick. I knocked on her door yesterday and I could hear the TV, but she didn't come to the door, so I wasn't going to keep banging on the door. And I may not have knocked loud enough for her to hear me because the TV was pretty loud, but I'm not going to beat on somebody's door. So.
And then we went to another house which she fell in love with.
Oh, man. I walk up on the porch. First, in the yard, the first thing I saw was like this concrete pillar, and it had what looked like cement skulls sitting on it. And I was like, oh my God, that's cool. And then I look up towards the porch, and there's a giant gargoyle on a stand. And then I walk up to the door, and there's a Michael Myers mat, and it says, what did it say? Something about survival. I can't remember now. It was really cute. And it had a sign on the house that said, what did that say? Haunted funeral home. And just all kinds of quirky things and awesome stuff that I love. So
but
I was
what
like,
was,
oh, I hope
what was the first 2 things you noticed when we pulled in the yard? Number 1 was a Jeep.
Oh yeah, the Jeep and the hearse. There was a
There
hearse.
was a hearse.
Yes, yes, there was a Jeep and a hearse parked under the carport thing. And this house is just old, and it just has that cool vibe. And I just know there's all kinds of cool stuff in the ground there.
Hi, Lucky Duck.
But again, I heard the TV, and they didn't come to the door. So
Mary, she might give an old man a heart attack if she flashes some leg to him.
no, I was told yesterday by an elderly gentleman, I was told no. So because I was honest and told him what we found.
Yeah.
So, but
you
you
were
asked
honest.
me what I find, I'm going to tell you what I found. So
Yeah. And even when
he had a hearse. That was awesome.
Even when he gave us permission, I said, is there anything that you guys might have possibly lost?
Yeah.
Or if anything we find would be of any interest to you? He said, no, I don't. Not worried about nothing.
He said 4 of my buddies have already detected it, so you're probably not going to find anything but trash. So maybe I struck a nerve and hurt his feelings because his buddies didn't find it. I don't know, but whatever. But I was told no, so it's fine.
But we ended up going to permission we've had for about 3 years now, maybe a little longer. I don't know for sure how long we've been
Genetic
detected.
cancer, yep.
At least 3 years.
I think so.
And we slowed our recovery speed down and turned our sensitivity up. And we were digging targets.
It worked at that house. It works at the house is okay, but in that field yesterday, I don't think that works that well.
No, it worked too well.
Yeah, everything like it was making it false quite a bit because I was getting a lot of iron that was over a foot deep. And
Well, you dug down there at
axe
least.
heads are cool, but I don't need to find a bunch of those.
You dug down at least 2 foot.
Yeah.
2 feet.
One. Yeah.
And dug out a big old giant axe head.
Which I don't want to carry that around, so I'd rather not find it. No leg for that old fart then.
You done moved everything, didn't you?
What?
All of our finds from yesterday.
They're in something.
I was looking for one in particular.
Okay, Chris, have a good night.
Thanks for coming in, Chris.
Hopefully that place can get that grass cut so you can get in there and detect it really good. Could have been a horde, yeah. What in particular are you looking for?
My little...
It's in a plastic, by the coffee pot. It's in a little plastic bowl, I think. It's underneath the copper thing that I found that we don't know what it is. So, Beard thinks I'm crazy because I was going through our copper finds, you know, the pipes and all that stuff you dig up, the wire and all the miscellaneous pieces. And I was tumbling some of the smaller stuff in the rock tumbler to get it clean to try to get the shiny copper price. And he's like, why are you wasting time doing all that? And he's like, just throw it all in there and they'll give you what they want. So I quit messing with it.
Yeah, there's only like 20 or 30 cents a pound difference. Now, if you were talking hundreds of pounds, yeah, but...
That Jeep was awesome, Richard. That thing was cool.
So
I loved it.
By doing that with our sensitivity and recovery speed and all that, I got a banging target, and I thought it's either aluminum
Lucky duck
or it's silver. And I think it was probably somewhere close to 18 inches. When I first pulled this out, I thought it was just a piece of aluminum. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see this very well or not, but it's an old tobacco, top to an old tobacco tin. It says boot jack plug. I think it says the greatest chew on earth down here at the very bottom, which you guys can't see it. But when I first seen it, it said boot jack, and I thought it was something. Hi, Zaxon.
Team Beard, get out of here, bro.
Heck yeah. When I first seen it, I thought it was like a little advertisement for a boot jack, but it's boot jack plug, the greatest chew on earth. And I wish the whole thing would have been there. I'd never heard of boot jack plug before. And I thought it was really cool. Reichea.
Here's the Apocalypse Jeep that Richard sent. That thing is fantastic.
That's cool.
It's a beast.
Oh, I guess I have to go to you, don't I?
For what?
The Reichea looked it up, and here's what it would have looked like new.
Yeah, that was a cool one, Jody.
I can't remember, Richard, if I did or not. I try to watch all your stuff, but I can't remember
Yeah, there's some money in that Jeep T.
if I did or not.
Some expensive
Team Beard,
upgrades.
Team Reichea.
Yeah. Hey, Jay. I did it earlier. Now I got to figure out how to do it again. Make the fist and do the.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah, it would be, Chris.
Yeah, you just never know what you're going to find.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, probably $175,000.
Yeah. I did it. Yay. I'm so excited.
What an angry grill. So I was so shocked when I started past it and saw what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she thinks I need a Jeep, but I think one Jeep is plenty around.
Oh, I don't know.
Unless I got like an old Willie's truck. That would be pretty cool.
Zaxxon, you're going to get called a punk in a minute.
What did he do now?
That Team Beard in caps and then Team Reichea in tiny letters.
Yeah. What are you hitting me for?
Because you deserve it.
I didn't do nothing. It was accident.
Then we can say, I seen Beard's Willie. Oh, geez. Yeah. No, they don't make them.
We'd seen, well, it's still sitting there. It's been year and a half ago. We saw a Jeep setting.
Yes, Chris. I want the Hellcat
And
there too.
a son with me just lost our minds, I bet.
Wow.
I have a 50s Willys pickup hiding in a garage, which my
Ooh.
dad needs tons of work.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to have, Zaxxon's, is the old Willys truck.
That's cool.
But I don't know what year this Jeep is that is sitting there. And
I shared it to Beard so we can watch it as soon as the live is over, Richard.
okay. Yeah. But like I said, I try to watch your stuff. Sometimes we get behind. Little Beard Light keeps us pretty well occupied anymore. So last year he started baseball. Or was it foot or basketball first?
Sorry to hear that. That sucks.
Yeah.
I think he started
It was basketball, then baseball, then football,
flag football.
then basketball, and in the beginning of May he starts back in baseball.
Awesome New Horizons.
And then he'll be playing football again. He's in kindergarten. His coach, they did acquire 2 or 3 more kids, but his coach is having these kids play up. So we got kindergartners playing against second graders. I'm a Toyota guy, 92 Land Cruiser 80 series. Toyotas are good rigs. They definitely are.
I'm working on taking them out. Larry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's taking them out.
I've still got a few left in that I've got to pull out, but yeah, it's when they've been in so long, they get to the point where they actually, your hair starts to dread itself. And I'm not ready for that commitment yet. So I take them out and
Jay says I
untangle all
bleed
the hair.
Ford Blue and Mountain Dew. But she will have more in before long
Oh yeah.
if she can just decide what color she wants this time.
Yeah.
But anyway, this guy's got a little garage he was at part of the time, and I asked him about the Jeep, and he said, well, it needs a oil pump. He said, when I get the oil pump in it, then I'll price it to you. And it's still sitting in the same spot. And I think it's probably got, what, 36-inch tires on it, and it's jacked up. And he said, now, if those aren't big enough, I got some 44s we can put on it. But it's an old, I don't know what year, it's an older Jeep.
New Horizons, this is my baby. That's Mayhem. She's an older, but not older. She's a 2011.
Mary Saxon, I knew you're weird. Yeah, 44s. He said, I got 44s we can put on it.
Yeah. But then it'll be taller than mine, so.
It's already taller than yours.
Yeah, I know. The hills do have eyes.
My daughter's boyfriend takes the late 4050 Dodge Power Wagons and rebuilds them to modern drivetrain and adds 4 doors.
Thanks, Richard.
That's awesome. I don't know.
That's awesome.
When we got the permission.
Thank you, Auntie Mama.
The 2 trucks that were sitting there when we talked to them kids, one of them had an old Dodge, and I don't know Dodge years real well. I'm going to say it was around a 50 Dodge pickup, but he had it lifted and bigger wheels and tires and stuff on it. In fact, after we did that, we were talking, and been over a year ago, we went to eat breakfast one day, and I'm pretty sure it was that truck that was sitting in the parking lot, and I did a little video short on it because I thought it was a cool old truck.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of meds, did you take your pill, your dinner pill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to remind each other if we took our pills.
It's awful. Don't get old, guys. Don't get old.
It's too late for me.
It's too late for me, too.
Yeah, but you're still a kid.
I wish.
I worked with some guys. I was talking to one the other day. I said, when are you going to retire? He said, I still got, what did he tell me? 7 years left? I'm like, 7 years? He said, yeah, I'm just 58. And I just looking at him, I thought he was in his 60s. Yeah, it does, T.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first automobile was a 49 Chevy pickup. It wasn't 5-window. I really want like a 80 model, 79, 80, 81, short bed, square body 4-wheel drive. I wish I had a nice one and had the money to fix it all up. And
he looks like the one in Greenville.
Yeah, do everything that I wanted to do to it, but it costs money. Yeah, that's what that Dodge truck that kid had, Jody.
Thanks, T.
Looked like. I'm going to try to look real quick and see if I can find that short, because I'm positive it's the same truck. That's not letting me look at all my shorts, and I don't know why.
It's not. Let me see if I can find it.
but I'm pretty sure it's the same truck I did a video on. It's been at least a year ago.
Well, you had a lot of shorts since a year ago, sir.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm guessing it's around a 50 Dodge. Those Chevys, I'm pretty close on all of those. Most of the Fords. But around here as a kid, most of what you seen was Chevy and Fords and a few Dodges. There wasn't a lot of Dodges around. A buddy of mine, his wife, when her mom was alive, we went
Have
to.
a good night, Dorothy.
Night,
Thanks for
Dorothy.
coming
Thank
in.
you for coming in. We appreciate it. Much love. When her mom was alive, we was over there doing something one day, and they had a whole field full of old Dodge trucks that had the push button. I think they were probably in the early 60s that had the push button transmission. Golly, I did have a lot of shorts, didn't I? That's something I haven't done much of lately is shorts. I know it gets you subscribers.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truck. You can show up there.
Well, I was gonna.
That's the truck. I did the short on. That may be older. That may
Oops.
be around a 48, 49 Dodge. But yeah, I did a video on that because I thought it's pretty cool. And that's the truck that was sitting there when we pulled up for the permission.
Yeah.
But that's a cool old truck.
Yeah, it is.
There, you get back on there in case I need to
Hi, Annie.
make somebody a mod. I think I have everybody as moderator.
Watching The Wizard of Oz. That's a good movie. I just did a short of a place that has a Yogi Bear in front of it. That's cool. $48 to $50 Ford beard. Mark
48
said.
to 50. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I didn't remember what the front end looked like.
I'll be back.
A Ford? I thought it was a Dodge. I don't know why I was thinking it was a Dodge.
I didn't know.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool looking truck.
Turkeys have moved on.
Turkeys have moved on. But yeah, I took Beard Light turkey hunting for youth season Sunday morning. He had his mom scheduled baseball camp Saturday, so we didn't know that he wasn't feeling good. And I got a blind set up, and we're sitting in the blind. He gets sick in there, and we ask him if he wanted to go to the house. No. And we heard some turkeys gobbling, and he got excited. And then we seen something going across the field, and he got to see the coyote. Then we seen some turkeys, and we had two hens out in front of the blind for over 5 minutes. They weren't 10 yards away, feeding around there, and he's standing there looking through the little window. And I said, "Don't move." So he stood there just like a statue. And then, yeah, and then we heard something rattling, and the neighbor was coming up through their field with a trailer. And the turkeys kind of went to the side. When they did, we're looking out the side window, and I think there was 8 deer went running through. And then after that, there was 2 or 3 crows landed in the field. So when he talked to his mom and dad, he had to tell them everything he's seen. He had a lot of fun. Yeah, even though he was sick, he was good. But he was sitting on Chi-Chi's lap, playing on her phone. And we try to make everything fun. I think if you got a little kid and you try to be too strict on whether it's metal detecting or magnet fishing or hunting or fishing or whatever, you got to make it fun for them.
Yeah, if there's too many rules, they're going to lose interest real fast.
So we just let him sit there and play on the phone. And when I'd see something, he'd get up and come get on my lap where he could look out the blind. And
He was quiet as a mouse, though.
yeah, he was quiet. He enjoyed it. He didn't have no luck, but he can still hunt in regular season. So starting Monday, we got 3 more weeks. And I told him if he wants to come out after school, we can go sit in the blind and go on the weekends. And one little granddaughter, I took her when she was probably 8 or 9. And I'm kind of irritated with myself now looking back, but at the time I'm sitting there with a slate call and I'm calling and there's a turkey gobbling. Next thing I know, I hear this scratching sound. I'm like, what in the world's going on? And she had found a stick in a rock and she's sitting there
That's sweet.
imitating what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so focused on wanting her to get a turkey that I should have spent more time just enjoying what she was doing. But we stayed for quite a while. We still had fun. I mean, after a little bit, I'm like, this is her hunt, not mine. She can do whatever she wants to do. I sold a 50 F1 show truck a couple of years ago. I got a neighbor up here that's got a 64 Chevy short bed that he bought off a guy several years ago. And I don't know, it got to the point that his wife said, if you bring another trophy home, I'm breaking it in the front yard, because he would get first place basically in every car show he went to with this truck. It's just incredible looking. Thought she married a turkey. Mary.
That's a good one, Mary.
All right, Jay. Thanks for coming in. Love you too.
Okay, love you.
But we're thinking about going to that, what's it called? That Tulsa hunt. Topeka hunt. I think we're going to go to the Topeka hunt. After going to the Show Me Pro-Am, that was a big jump for us because we were going to Brian's. We had 30 people.
Yeah.
And then go to that where there was 300 at least people and see that many people. And we were a little overwhelmed at first, and we're like, oh, I don't think we'll go back. And then we got to looking back on it, or I did anyway, and we're like, you know, we actually did pretty good compared to a lot of people at that hunt.
Yeah.
And found some natural stuff. I know I found one 3-ringer that was natural. I'd never found a 3-ringer before. And I found another one that wasn't natural that they had planted. Then I think I found 3 or 4 different size musket balls that were natural. They still had that white coating to them. And I found a couple that you could tell were planted. I found, I think, 8 buttons, something like that. One of them was a natural find. It was down there about 7 or 8 inches. Posted a short the other day about how Dad gave me his 22. Gave me the 22 shell from my first bullseye when I was 8. He kept it all. That's awesome. Mary said, love you, beard cheesecake buddy. I love you too, Mary. That's why I go to those for the natural hunt. Well, I wish we would have done more because they had natural areas and they had the seeded areas, and we were mostly focused in our brain of finding silver. And I think if I had it to do over again, I would probably go to the seeded hunt for maybe an hour and then go do natural. Oh, congratulations, Mama. That's awesome. Mama hit 2K today.
Oh, great. Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations. That's an awesome milestone.
Yes.
But I know there was some people upset because there was a new 500-acre spot for the second day that was supposed to be all natural. And I guess they had some high school kids seeding the fields, helping them seed them. And some of them had got into that natural spot and seeded some stuff. So a lot of people was upset finding seeded stuff in what was supposed to be a natural. They apologized for it. And I don't think it was an intentional thing. I think it was just a mistake. And I know Larry 5 Mile, he found a couple of incredible finds there. But that's something we're getting more into, is just like in our videos, is finding relics and older coins. Not that we haven't always wanted to find the older coins, but we're getting more into the relics and trying to make our videos more about things, hi Paul, that to us are cool. Just like, you know, this little boot jack plate. That's just an old piece of junk to most people, but to me, that's a pretty cool find. Never knew they made such a thing. But that hunt that we're probably going to go to is going to be another big hunt, I think. Brian thinks there'll be, what, 100 people or so, 80 to 100 people, which is smaller than the Show Me Pro-Am. But if they do the Show Me Pro-Am again next year, we were first dead set against going, but now we're going to see if they got some new area. I think they're going to have to get some new ground to detect, because our expectations were pretty high after what people had found last year. So I think we were expecting to do the same, but some people still found some really cool natural stuff. Yeah, that's true. Learning about what you find.
Mm-hmm.
And finding stuff you never heard of or never knew existed is really cool. But my seeded dime, that was my bucket lister #1 for the year, and I got that out of the way. Not that I don't want to find a seeded quarter or a seeded half, but and for it to be a Carson City on top of that, it's just hard for me to fathom. And I know there's people out there that find seeded coins all the time, and it's nothing to them, but I get excited over every silver I find. Even if it's a Rosie, I still love finding silver. And we find stuff that we have no idea what is, and we try that ID my find thing, and it tries to show you a dozen different things that has absolutely nothing to do with the piece you found. And then there's that Facebook group, and I put a piece in there, what, 2 years ago? ID my find or whatever it is, and
I think so.
ended up Miss T had a friend, and I sent T the picture, and she figured out what it was. But nobody on the ID my find ever had any idea what it was. Reichea, if you bribe beer with cheesecake, maybe he'll bring you to Ohio for the Rose Nose Monkey Fest. We'll be panning for gold, magnet fishing, and detecting weekend of May 16th, 17th, and 18th.
That's cool.
We'd like to, Mary, but I don't
Yeah,
think
I
we'll
don't
make
know.
it this year. We've got quite a bit going on this year already. We'd already planned out. Hi, Robert, Melissa. Hope you all are doing well tonight. Try WTF. Is this on Facebook? I'm not sure about that. Robert and Melissa find some pretty cool stuff too.
Yes, they do.
But we've been on here a little over an hour tonight and still got 22 incredible people in here. But Miss Reichea is not feeling the greatest, and Beard Light's been sick off and on since Sunday. And hello, Lois and Clark. I see Clark is still at 5%. I'm back. Gave him his meds, and he needed the sink unclogged, and he let his indoor cat escape. Yeesh. Yeah. The daughter and son-in-law's got a cat and a dog in the house, but the dog will come out running 100 miles an hour. The cat will walk out as slow as it can and make it about a foot and flop down on the porch. I think it's too lazy to go any farther than that.
He's too fat.
He's too fat.
Yeah. Our animals are massive.
Yeah.
They are massive.
It's a Facebook page. Okay. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, we appreciate you all coming in, hanging out with us. As far as I know, we'll be here next week. And thank you all for watching our premiere. It was my best, I believe, best bucket list day. I can't say it was my best day ever for silver because it wasn't, but it was my best silver for me that I wanted to find. Beard, you mean your daughter and her jackass? Got to go back and watch. Thank you, Robert and Melissa. Yeah, I found something in that video that was my #1 bucket lister for the year. In fact, it's been on my bucket list for a while. But I did find 2 bucket listers of my top bucket listers in that video. You too.
Good night, everybody. We
Richard
love you.
said feel better.
Thank you.
But we love you guys. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget, whenever we get to 25,000, whenever that may be, we will be giving away a Garrett.
Vortex?
No, it's not a Vortex.
No. Okay. Let me go find it.
Yeah, she's going to go look.
Before you say the wrong thing.
Before I say.
Or I do.
What is my top bucket lister now? I would really like to find, it's a Garrett Apex. Hi, Workman's. I'd like to find a large scent.
It's the James Robertson. No, Jace Robertson.
Yeah, the
Signature Edition.
Robertson. This is the detector we're going to be giving away at 25,000.
One of them. There's a kid's one too.
Yeah, we got a kid's detector too. But I'd say a large scent, and I would like to find a silver dollar. I haven't found a silver dollar. I found a couple silver halves, several silver quarters, dimes. I found shill nickels.
I want to find a gold ring, then I want to find a silver dollar.
A gold ring and a silver dollar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Morgan or something.
Yeah, I don't care. Just a silver dollar.
Yeah, any silver dollar would be fine.
Then once I ever find one, then I can be more choosy. But
yeah.
Yeah, I want to find a large cent. I want to find a silver dollar. Then I'll have to think about it. I mean, there's a lot of things I want to find, but finding that seeded dime, that was my number one bucket lister for the year, and finding that lead army toy,
Yeah, that was awesome.
that was another bucket lister for the year. But we're going to call it a night. Like I said, we love you guys and we appreciate it. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Without your love and support. We'll see you next week. Hope you have a blessed rest of the week. Much love.